Good morning, friends, and happy Monday. I'm sorry I'm a couple seconds late. I was trying to get the lighting all figured out. I feel like my face is very shiny. I'm in a new place, if you haven't noticed, and so I've got lots of ambient light coming in on me. So there's a lot going on. So happy Monday. It is the final week of April. Can you believe it? Give me a thumbs up if you are excited for May. I know for many people up in the north, they're still getting snow, my family included, and so they are ready for spring to officially be sprung. So today we are going to talk about hashtags. And I know that some of you are like, yeah, this is so old school and blah, blah, blah. Like how to use, like I know how to use them. And so that's fine. I'm going to give you a couple tips at the end that will kind of extend your knowledge and how you can really tap into some different resources to be able to use them. So first I want to start off by telling you what a hashtag is. Now being the nerdy English teacher, of course, I have to tell you what the name is actually not called a hashtag. Twitter actually made it popular first. In 2008, I believe, they were the ones who were like, hey, because we're only using 140 characters at that time, that has since increased. Because they were only using 140 characters, it was a way for people to find other ideas and like-minded ideas. So with that being said, it's called an octothorpe. A little bonus, the little and sign is actually called an ampersand. So in case you're wanting to know for Jeopardy, one day when you're watching it, that's what you need to know. So it's called an octothorpe. And if you think about it, octo 8, because the way that it's divided up, it's not really an 8, but it's a 9. But so it is obviously a Latin root. So it first started on Twitter, as I mentioned, but it has then since gained popularity in lots of different social media platforms. And one of them, of course, is Instagram. So a couple things you need to know about using a hashtag. You have to know which platform you're going to use it on. Now there's lots of, just like everything with Corona, like this person's saying this and this person's saying this. Lots of different people say lots of different things about hashtags, but this is how I have found them to be useful in my own platform. First and foremost, Instagram uses hashtags the most. And you want to really find out which hashtags relate to not just your post, but your overall business. You really want to find your niche. And so, for example, I have started using online business coach, online biz coach, lots of different things, entrepreneur, solopreneur, lots of different ways in which you can use that. Good morning, and thank you for the little thumbs there, guys. So with that being said, you really want to try to hone in on what works for you with your specific niche, and I'll kind of get into that. So I want to tell you just a few things about generally using them. You want to make sure that when you're using a hashtag, first of all, you can't use any spaces in between, any punctuation marks. A lot of people try to use like the cute little emoji like at the end, like a little sunset or a little heart sign or something like that. You can't use any of those little fun symbols and characters and spaces. You have to keep it short and sweet too. Like I know I've seen people who are like, coronavirus has me like. Well, most people aren't going to search that. So for those of you who are old school like me, give me a thumbs up if this is you, if you ever used a card catalog. If that is you, thumbs up. Back in the day, we used to have to go to research, and some of you are like so young, you have no clue what that looks like because you can just now use your thumbs and fingers to type in on a Google search. But we used to go and we used to find like-minded, okay, well, if I'm going to be studying, dolphins, I'm going to go look up anything on dolphins, and then I might look up marine animals, and then I might so you have to kind of in your mind think about obviously this is my topic, and then what are the offshoots? What are the next level, right? That inner circle, and then you keep on going out your concentric circles. What are the things that would be relevant and related to my topic? You really want to try to get specific as possible when you're using them. So on Instagram, you want to try to use, they say the average, you can max out at 30, but they say the average is about 15 to 20. So that's just an FYI. Some people sometimes I posted today and I didn't use any because I was really late in the game to getting them posted for you guys, to getting this post about Social Media Monday. I could have put on there online training. I could have put free training, free workshop, Social Media Monday, a couple other, I could have put hashtags. I could have put Instagram. I could have used a ton of things. Now here's the other thing. When you're thinking about that, the wider, so you think macro, like the wider your reach, you really want to try to narrow in. So I've heard a couple times that you want to try to have 5 mega hashtags, and then you kind of narrow it down from there. So you get down to a really small niche. So here's the challenge. When you're, at a million, the whole point is that people can search a hashtag, you guys. So they can do this on LinkedIn as well. Facebook does not use it as often. Specifically with hashtags, I've seen them most used in Twitter, that's where they originated, and then Instagram. That's where I use them the most. I sometimes will just copy and paste things from my notes into Facebook, and sometimes I just don't take them out at the very bottom. They're not really well known on Facebook. People don't search things on Facebook using hashtags. But in Instagram, if you ever go to the search, it's the second little icon, I believe, at the bottom. It has like a little magnifying glass. If you ever go to that little search bar, you can actually follow hashtags. Like, for example, one of the ones that I follow is online business. I follow also entrepreneurs. I follow I love to travel. So there's so many that you can follow that are just hashtags. And anyone who uses that hashtag will show up when you do that search. Now, sometimes, because of my engagement, I might be really far down on the online business coach. Of course, somebody like Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, they're going to be at the high end because they have millions and millions of followers. So the hashtags allow you to search specific things. So if you're looking just to see like, hey, does somebody have my name on, Instagram, or does somebody have my name or my same business title? So start looking for that and see. Now, here's a couple things. Why do you use hashtags? Okay, so going back to this, and let me just kind of recap here. With a hashtag, Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter are pretty much the three platforms that use hashtags the most. And again, it becomes like you're narrowing your search. It allows you to find something specific. You want to keep it short and sweet. But what happens is it increases your engagement. So just like you might use the hashtag to search for someone or something, somebody can do the exact same thing. And just as I mentioned, if you're using that, it might populate your post in that feed. So again, like for example, I use Shine with Franny almost in every post that I do. So it only has been used hundreds of times because I'm pretty much the one who uses it. Sometimes if I'm at an event, I'll tell people like, oh, go ahead and tag or, hashtag Shine with Franny. And then it will show me that has then shown up. And then the same thing will happen if they tag you, right? And we can get into tags. That's a whole other social media Monday. But so it increases your engagement when you use the hashtags because people can search it. And as I mentioned, people can then follow, morning, Miss Bev. People can also then follow hashtags. Okay, so a couple things that you need to know. So if you are a frequent hashtagger and you use them very often, a couple things that you can know. I don't do this. I've done it a handful of times. I've used some of these platforms, but it just takes so much time, right? But if you are completely social media and that is your realm, then this is what you might want to use. But it helps you find your brand and your niche. So hashtagify me, I've used this before. I had to go back and look it up because I was like, what was the name of that? Hashtagify me allows you to go ahead and search and see like the popularity of that hashtag. So if you typed in, like, let's just say lake living, because I'm sitting here now in a new place and I'm looking out at a lake. Not the lake I envisioned when I talked to you guys a couple weeks ago. But with that being said, if I go in and type in lake living, it's going to tell me how many people or how popular that tag is, that hashtag is. So again, if you're trying to go for 5 that are at the macro level and then keep dwindling it from there, again, thinking me about 20 to 30 hashtags are kind of where you sit, if you will. So you would think like 5 of the macro, millions of users, and then you go down to maybe 250,000 users, then maybe 10,000 users, 5,000, and then 1,000. So like, again, you would start large and then you would keep narrowing your audience, keep narrowing the hashtag so you get to a smaller niche. Because most likely people are going to use, I personally use hashtags that have less of usability because I want my actual post to show up in someone else's feed sooner. So I don't always post something that has like 5 million, for example, quarantine and coronavirus and a lot of these kind of trending topics right now, they're skyrocketing through the roof and how many people are using those. So with that being said, if you use hashtagify me, that's going to allow you to search and see. So find your 5 or 6 go-to. And guys, here's a little aside note. I didn't have this in my notes, but I just want to share this with you. Use your notes in your phone. Just write them all in there. And then when you're ready to do a post, you just go to hashtags, copy and paste those 10 that you know you're going to use, and then just go ahead and plug them in at the end of your post. So that will, 1, it saves time and efficiency. And I'm all about saving time and efficiency. So just have your post, or excuse me, have your hashtags ready to go. So when you do your post, you can copy and paste, and then maybe throw in 5 or 6 that are specific to the actual post, right? So if you're doing a specific, yoga, activity that one day, you might then put in like vinyasa flow or hatha or whatever that, that practice is that day. But otherwise you might say yoga teacher, yogis, yoga for life, or whatever, so you might have those as kind of like your standard, and then you can go ahead and specify what you're going to do for that day. The other one, you guys, and this one is a little bit more tricky. So again, if you're using hashtags and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so old school, I totally know this. This is kind of like the advanced level. And again, this is if you're really dialing into using social media. It's called rite tag, R-I-T-E, not R-I-G-H-T. Rite tag, R-I-T-E tag. And it pairs, I've used this before too. It takes a lot of time. But some of the people that I follow have suggested these. And so what you do is you put in your picture, and then you put in your copy, and then it's its own search engine, and then it finds you hashtags that relate to your picture and that relate to your words, which are really, really cool. So it's kind of like its own SEO, like your own search engine optimization, because it finds them for you and says, hey, these are some of the ones that you should use. So hence the name rite tag. These are the right tags that you should post, because then people will find you. And then this copy, or this picture, is related to this group of people. So those are 2 additional kind of 200 level hashtag information. And, MC, I hope that is helpful to you. And Jeff Spittler, I don't know if you're using hashtags or not, but hopefully this is helpful too. So just to recap, you guys, the hashtag, also known in Latin as the octothorpe, you should know that because it's something that Alex Trebek might ask on Jeopardy. So you need to know that. And then you also want to make sure that you're using hashtags when you're posting specifically on Instagram, Twitter. If anyone uses Twitter, I love Twitter. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love Twitter. It's just quick, fun little sound bites oftentimes. And if you didn't notice, a lot of people will just take and simply screenshot their Twitter and then they repost it in multiple places. That is one of Gary Vaynerchuk's easiest ways of, and you've heard me talk about that, you guys, when I'm talking about repurposing content. The easiest way to do that is you can simply take your Twitter post and then repurpose it on both Facebook as well as actually LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can use it on all 4 of those platforms. So I don't think anyone's using MySpace, but maybe TikTok. No, that's all video, so you can't really use it there. But hopefully that helps you with narrowing down, using hashtags, how important they are, to helping people find you. Again, we're trying to create engagement. You're trying to create connectivity. And also, if you're following other hashtags, make sure that you go and you respond to them, right? When, I don't know about you, but when somebody starts following me, or somebody doesn't even follow me, but they post something on my in feed, I'll go and look at it and be like, oh, let me check them out. And if I think that they align. Now, I've had people, I will be honest, a couple people who followed me who were I think porn stars from Russia. And then I've also had people who are following me who are somebody wrote me in over the weekend that they're looking for an older American woman to marry. Not my cup of tea, y'all, okay? So I'm just saying, be discretionary, be discerning, be wise, who's following you. You just don't want any kind of follower. You want quality, not quantity of followers. And, you can have 1,000 people following you, but I have seen influencers get picked up. People are becoming influencers. They're called nano influencers. And we go a little bit deeper in that in, some of the different programs that I offer. So let me know if you are interested in learning about luminaries. We meet on Wednesday, and then also my mentorship group that we meet on Mondays. So we'd love to help you guys out with that. But that's not what this is about. This is about giving you guys some information to help you build up your social media presence. And today's topic was hashtags. So go back and watch it from the beginning if you're just tuning in now. Much love to you guys. As always, please let me know if you have any questions. Go ahead and shoot me a message below here, because guess what? In this community, this is where we want people to learn. And tell me, what are some of the hashtags that you use? Or tell me if you have a formula that you've used. Like I said, mine is not the end all be all. This is just what works for me. So some of you might have really great ideas and things that you do. And I hope that this is helpful. And Allie, thank you so much. And hope you guys have a great day, a great week. April is almost over. I think the quarantine is almost over. And so I will hopefully look forward to seeing you next Monday, same time, same place. Unless you're interested in joining one of my other groups, I'd love to have you guys there. Have a great day, everybody.